$100 to watch Inter Miami in a preseason game in Ecuador, and what you didn't see behind the scenes at MLS Media Day. All that and more on This is Fútbol. Welcome back to This is Fútbol. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Danny here along with Nico. How's it going, man?
How's it going, Danny? It's nice to see you again, bro. It was a while since we recorded. I'm glad we're back.
I'm glad we're back, but we were doing some content behind the scenes while we were gone, and we are back to share some of that with you. But before we get into that, Nico, man, I started off the video with that clip. $100. Inter Miami is gonna go to face Barcelona Sporting Club in Guayaquil on the 4th of February. That'll be their third game in South America, and the cheapest ticket at El Estadio Monumental in Guayaquil is $100.
Yeah, that's pretty high. That's pretty high. Yeah, I don't know how salaries work in Ecuador, but I'm pretty sure that's very, very high for a median salary over there.
Absolutely. People are making like $300 a month over there.
Oh wow.
Salaries. Yeah.
So one third of your salary. So you're gonna be spending 1/3 of your salary to watch a preseason game that your club plays against Messi. Ouch.
Is that the price that you pay for having Messi come and play? Is that like a Messi tax that the people are charging nowadays for the premium to watch Messi? It's like pay-per-view. That's the pay-per-view nowadays. Instead of the boxing fights, instead of the wrestling matches and all that, people are paying to watch Messi.
Yeah, and especially considering because these are the last few games that he will play overseas. You can call it almost like a last dance type of tour.
You think he's having like a world retirement tour over like the next three years of his career, where he's been already to Asia? Well, no, I'm just saying he's been to Asia, he's been to the Middle East, he's been to Central America last year. Now he'll be back in South America this year. And what continent does he have left to go to? Maybe Australia? Maybe they'll play a game in Antarctica.
Yeah, he already went to India it was with the national team, but still, he was already there. No, not really with the national team. He was
there with Suarez and De Paul.
Yeah, Suarez and De Paul, yeah. Man, so he really doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Absolutely. I guess not. He's already been all over Europe, so now thinking about it, maybe they'll do a preseason tour in Australia next year, and that'll be the last continent that Messi has to play in, and we'll see if it happens. But all right, getting into, I just thought it was crazy. $100 in South America. I know to watch Nacional, they're playing Serie Rio de la Plata. To watch like a Nacional River Plate, which would be a pretty big game for preseason, I'm pretty sure you could get tickets for $10, maybe $15.
Yeah, those are fair prices for a preseason game. But $100, that's a little bit of a stretch.
I agree. All right, let's talk a little bit about Inter Miami, and preseason is about to start this week. As you know it, the 3 games coming up, they will also play a couple more games is what I'm hearing in the preseason, and we're about to find out who they're going to be. But since we last recorded, Inter Miami announced that they signed David Ayala to come and play in the center midfield position. A lot of people are already anointing him the next, Sergio Busquets or the Busi replacement. Maybe not the next Busquets, but the Busi replacement, right? And that's a lot to shoulder, but I really like this kid. He played in Portland. He came from, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was at the Huracán or Argentinos Juniors.
Estudiantes.
La recagué ahí, but whatever. We'll keep going. Estudiantes. The Argentinian fans are really going to hate me on that one. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's all right, Danny. We all make mistakes.
It happens. But yeah, so they bring him over. Obviously, there was also some rumblings of Tristan Blackmon, the defender from Vancouver, the center back. And a lot of people were saying how, they wanted him and all that. And Inter Miami was offering $3 million in cash to bring him over. And then I thought it was interesting. You don't see this very often in MLS, where an owner or a CEO or a president comes out and says, no, we're not going to sell this guy, right? We're not going to sell this guy, and we're actually trying to re-sign him. I thought it was weird that they put out a press release and they announced that. Usually you do all of those dealings behind closed doors and you don't let things get out. But what did you think of, first, about the press release? And second, you think that they're kind of bluffing? Because I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think that's about.
I think we could all agree that it's very simple. They're just trying to jack up the price. It's as simple as that. You come out, you make a press release. It's simply because of that. There's no other reason for it. And we're talking about a player in the name of Tristan Blackmon here. We're not talking about a DP. We're not talking about a superstar, an elite player. We're talking about a role player that can potentially make Inter Miami better. And by making Inter Miami better, it's going to make Vancouver weaker, which this Vancouver team, if we remember, they played against Inter Miami in the final.
They did. And one of the knocks against Tristan Blackmon is the fact that he was injured a lot last year and he wasn't available, in certain matches. And look, I think he's really a plug-and-play type of defender. Obviously, we have Mikael also coming over from Palmeiras, and another player who also has some familiarity with the MLS, playing with the Houston Dynamo. And I really like that signing as well. But I do think that in order for Miami to win the competitions that they want to win next year, which I think with the team that they're assembling, they have to win at least 2 of the 3 major competitions that they're going to play in, I think they still need to bring in that center back. And I think Tristan Blackmon could be the right person. I just don't think that for more than $3 million, which would make him a DP, I don't think that that's worth it.
No, it all depends if you're able to amortize the price. So yes, it's $3 million, but if you were able to spread that out in a long-term contract, let's say 5-6 years for the player, then you're giving more or less the flexibility to be able to not have him as a DP. Kind of what Inter Miami is trying to do with Allende, as he is more than likely to come back. They want to sign him for a long-term contract of 5-6 years so they can spread out that transfer fee. If that's the case, then I think it's a great signing. Now, if you have to pay out the transfer fee up front, I'm not so sure.
I agree, man. I agree. I think, and that's been the strategy that Inter Miami has been using so far as they sign players and bring players over, spreading the cost over a certain number of years, amortizing, as you say, and it's been effective. And you're seeing teams around the league starting to use this a little bit more. Today it was announced that Timo Werner is going to be now going to San Diego as a DP. San Jose. Sorry, I apologize. You know why I was thinking San Diego? Because Chucky Lozano is also in San Diego, or was in San Diego, and now he's no longer wanted in San Diego. So that's why I had that on my mind, because I wanted to bring up Chucky Lozano as well. Yeah,
I mean, Timo Werner. Let's go one by one. Timo Werner going to San Jose. I think it's an odd signing if we want to agree on this one. I would never see or even remotely think that Timo Werner was going to go to a team like San Jose Earthquakes. Usually they're not the type of team that signs this type of players, but who knows? Maybe there is a market for a German in San Jose.
Why not? I mean, I understand maybe, Chicago might have made sense, New York, especially knowing that, the Red Bulls, the alliance with RB Leipzig, the team that he's coming from, that might have made a little bit more sense. But I love the fact that he's going to San Jose. I love the fact that he's showing folks that it doesn't matter the team. As long as you're going to show me the money, I'm going to come and I'm going to put on your colors and I'm going to represent you and I'm going to do it 110%. And I love the fact that names, even though it's not, a Lionel Messi or it's not Cristiano Ronaldo, it's still a name that people know and a name that, resonates at least in Europe. And this is a big name coming to the MLS. And I'm hearing that some more names could be coming to the MLS as the year goes on and the summer months come.
Yeah, I mean, this winter market is going to be slow. I don't expect this winter market to be a big hit as far as big names. But after the World Cup, we can expect at least 4 to 5 major superstars coming to the MLS.
You heard it here first, man. 4 to 5 major superstars after the World Cup. That would be fantastic.
Because it just makes sense.
It does. I mean, obviously, you want to stay in Europe. You want to stay fit. You want to be as good as you can going into the 2026 World Cup. By the way, thanks for reminding me earlier. We're 150 days away from the next World Cup. 150 days from Lionel Messi defending the World Cup. 150 days from Uruguay trying to get that 5th star. I had to throw that out there. But yeah, man, getting back to Chucky Lozano, right? Chucky Lozano is not wanted in San Diego, but he might be wanted somewhere else. We were talking about it off camera. We were trying to figure out where would be, a good fit for Chucky Lozano, knowing that he has to stay in MLS at this point. I don't think he's going to go back to Mexico. That would probably be his only option, but staying in MLS is probably the most money he's going to get. And, we both agreed that Atlanta seems like the best fit, although they don't have any DP spots open.
No, they don't have any DP spots, but I'm sure they're able to negotiate and bring down one of their DPs into a TAM deal or allocate some money in it, and be able to have Chucky become one of their DPs. I think it's a fantastic idea for him to stay in the MLS, considering that he has already adapted to the league. I'm not so sure if Liga MX will be the destination for him, and one of the reasons why is because of the high price tag that he has. We got to remember, San Diego just recently bought him about a year ago from PSV. They paid roughly 12 million euros, and they're really going to want to get their money back, and the MLS is probably the only place where they can afford that.
Yeah, I agree. And look, he's an interesting type of player, a player where it looks like he didn't get along with the organization or with the locker room, but maybe with the right coach, maybe
he got in a fight straight up with the coach. There was various reports that said they almost went into a fist fight. So there was no turning back.
You think Tata and him would reconcile? Because I know that there was some bad blood there from his time as a Mexico coach.
Yes, they had bad blood. So let's see. I mean, it's been a long time. I'm sure, you don't, as a player, you can't hold grudges, and as a coach as well. But Tata already comes from a place where he had a lot of headaches in Inter Miami. So I'm not sure if he wants to have another headache, going back to a place where he won a few titles.
All right, let's talk about a place where there was absolutely no headaches, and that was MLS Media Day. Let me tell you, covering MLS Media Day, I didn't know what to expect going into it because, you don't know who's going to be there. You don't know, what you're going to see. You don't know how the atmosphere is going to be. Is it going to be, stuffy? Is it going to be where the players are open? Let me tell you, man, covering, my first, and I know it was definitely not your first, but it was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the type of atmosphere that the MLS creates that day, where you can just hang out, talk to the players in a normal vibe and really, get to know them and just ask them just straight up questions and get really, really deep answers from them. I mean, again, you've done this before. For me, it was an absolute honor, and it was fantastic. And I can't wait to let the fans know here, who we got to speak to, what we heard, and what we can share with what we saw.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's a great experience. And honestly, I'm a firm believer that MLS, it's one of a kind when it comes to these things. They truly hit a home run when it comes to media days. To be able to organize something in a city with all the teams, having players from every single team come out, share their story, be able to talk a little bit about the season coming up, and just share experiences with the media. It's something that only the MLS is able to do. We talk about big leagues like Premier League, La Liga, Champions League, all these other big leagues. They cannot do what the MLS does, and this is something great. The MLS is going to keep growing, and they need to take advantage of these type of things. I also want to give a big thanks for the MLS for allowing us to be there, for allowing us to be able to express the players' stories throughout our whole all of our platforms, and they gave us a little gift, man. Look, here you go.
Oh, the ball that was there, the MLS ball for next year. It's nice, man. We got a chance to play with it.
Now,
It
if you can see, I don't know if you can see from up close the
numbers.
The blue.
Yeah.
So those numbers there, if you want, you can say what they mean.
Yeah. So apparently those numbers are the latitudes and longitudes for all the MLS stadiums for 2026, which I think is absolutely really, really cool that they did that. The ball is interesting. Nico was mentioning it reminds him of the Trionda. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes next year, but it's red, white, and blue. I'm sure that ties into the 250-year anniversary that the United States is celebrating this year. And also with something with the World Cup, but it was a beautiful ball, and thank you so much to the MLS.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, man, let me tell you, we got to talk to a lot of players, and we got to talk to a lot of the top players around the league. Some Mexican international players like Obed Vargas. We talked to Cristian Roland from the US men's national team. We talked to new Inter Miami goalkeeper Dane Sinclair, Matt Turner, Evander. I mean, we talked to a lot of the top players from around the league. I'm going to give you a chance to share who your favorite guy was to talk to, but my guy, I have to admit, the guy who I like talking to the most was Dane Sinclair. I thought he was just so laid back, and it was funny because he was the first guy who we interacted with us, and you didn't really know what to expect, and it was just really cool. And he just was very blunt with us, and he just said, "Look, I'm here to compete. I want to get a spot on the 2026 World Cup squad. I want to start for Canada, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to win trophies." And I love the confidence that he spoke with, and I felt it. Genuinely felt that he was meaning everything that he said.
Yeah, he actually did, and it was nice to be able to share some time with who could possibly be the starting goalkeeper for Inter Miami this upcoming season. We know that he's gonna have to fight for his spot, as everyone. But it was nice. In my perspective, I want to say I really enjoyed, and it's not the first time that I spoke with him. However, I do feel like as time progressed and as his career progressed, he started getting more mature, and that's something that's normal. But I want to say Team Ream. I was very, very surprised as the conversation that we had with Tim Ream. He looked poised for the World Cup, and not only him, but all the other players that we got to speak with that are part of the U.S. national team. We got to see how much they believe in Pochettino and how much they believe of the identity that he has given them for the upcoming World Cup. And the more I hear them, the more I believe that Pochettino really made them understand that this is it. They are going to go into the World Cup thinking that they can win the World Cup.
Absolutely. And that was a common denominator with every single U.S. men's national team player who came across, our area there. That was one of the questions that we asked, what has Pochettino kind of got you guys to buy into what, and he goes, it's the togetherness, and they all said that it's the togetherness, it's the belief that we can do it. And the fact that everybody basically said the same thing goes to show you that what Pochettino is doing, or what he is telling these players, is starting to rub off on them. And
look,
I know, we're 150 days away.
And not only that, I want to add something else. There's no safe spots in this national team. Players who are playing in Europe, they don't have a say. They don't have a guaranteed starting spot. And the players in the MLS truly believe so as well. And therefore, they are willing to die for this national team.
They are. And that's why 150 days away, and we did this last episode, you said Colombia was your dark horse to go very far. I said USA was my dark horse. I'm telling you, ever since we sat with Pochettino and we heard him speak, I bought in. It's crazy. And I'm not even a fan. And I live here. And I'm American.
Yeah.
And I bought in.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully it happens. Hopefully they're able to show everything that they're taking within from Pochettino's tactics.
Absolutely, man. All right, you gonna do anything fun this weekend?
No, not really.
No?
Just relax. We're gonna just relax.
Relax.
Lots of football to watch.
By the way, Xabi Alonso is available. You think you can fire Arne Slot and bring him in?
Well, I mean, a lot has to happen, but I think Xabi Alonso's gonna stay jobless for a few months right now.
Ooh, you heard it here first. Xabi Alonso jobless for a few months. Well, we'll talk about it next week when he picks up a job somewhere else.
We'll see.
All right, man. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to be putting out a lot of content over the next week of different things that we got to do over at MLS Media Day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to the MLS. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. We'll be back next episode. This is Futbol. See you later.